Okay, back to the UK then. And well, Capita, the company that everybody loves to hate because they enforce the TV license collection, money collection. Well, they had a bit of an IT problem over the weekend. Now, who is Capita? Well, aside from TV license, of course, they're outsourcing firm that's used by the National Health Service, by local councils, by British government, by the British Army, even. So this was pushed out by them on Friday following a technical problem which has affected access to some of our services today. That we can confirm that we've identified an IT issue that is primarily impacting our internal systems. And what did this turn out to be? Well, it turned out to be a cyber attack. And it looks like, well, was it some kind of ransomware? They're not saying just at the moment. But nonetheless, they claim that no individual client's data was exposed by this attack. But obviously we're not able to provide functionality for many systems, including some council systems involving benefits and so on over the weekend. So I just wanted to mention this because over the weekend, the government published this job advertisement for the head of cybersecurity for HM Treasury. And the salary that they're putting on this is £50,000 a year. 50,000 to 57,000 pounds a year. Now, for a London-based role, this is a pitifully small amount for what would be considered an extremely senior position. So let's just bring up what they say about it. The head of cybersecurity identifies, understands, and mitigates cyber-related risks. They provide risks to service owners with advice to help them make well-informed risk-based decisions. Now, why is this important? Well, because of course the government is moving to digital everything. And so cybersecurity becomes a key function of that. And if you're paying somebody based in London £50,000 to be head of cybersecurity for the Treasury, which of course is the source of everything in the UK government, then they can't consider cybersecurity to be a very serious issue for them. So I would then question the entire digital strategy of the UK government. Now, of course, what they then do is they pay civil servants pitiful amounts of money. And in the meantime, they outsource more and more services to the likes of Capita. And Capita have now just demonstrated that they're not capable of saving themselves from cyber attacks. So what could they do for on any government contract that involves digital identity or digital currency, anything, I don't know, anything that they might be involved in the future. I don't think this is a very good look for either the government or for Capita.
I find this fascinating, Mike. You know, that is such a small amount of money. So it's almost like the Treasury's putting somebody in place to make it look as if they are doing something, but actually that person's not going to have any real power or authority. David?
Well, it's not as if we haven't had some experience in the governmental sector of things going horribly, horribly wrong. We had SEPA were hacked and ransomware was installed and they couldn't get round it. And basically they had to recreate all the data and it took them, well, I don't know if they've even fully recovered yet, but it certainly took them 6 months to a year to have any semblance of normality in that particular government agency. And for some months, basically they had been effectively stopped from working at all. So the government knows how bad this can be. They've had some experience of how bad it can be. I'm astonished that they're viewing that as such a kind of minor position.
Somebody in the chat box made the point that cybersecurity is the remit of GCHQ and the National Cybersecurity Centre, and this is probably a local manager role. That is true, of course, but that doesn't change the fact that it is massively under-resourced, and security is something that happens at every level. So if you're going to put somebody in as head of security head of cybersecurity at the Treasury, I would have expected to be a more senior position than that salary implies.